The coastal lineup here in the UK is pretty damn amazing. We have some of the world's most interesting and thrilling rides, as well as some very unique and original designs, with Alton Towers basically being B&M's testing grounds. Nemesis was one of the first B&M inverts, Air was the world's first flying coaster, and Oblivion was the world's first dive coaster. And let's not forget the fact that we hold the record for the most inversions on one coaster in the world. Thank you, the Smiler. However, there are definitely some rides that we're missing. Thorpe hasn't gotten a new ride in almost a decade, and Alton Towers, well, look at man. So, if Merlin suddenly got a pay rise, or if Blackpool won the lottery, what could we hope and dream to see here in the humble United Kingdom? So, without any further ado, let's get into it. First off on the list is an RMC hybrid coaster. Now, this is something that Thorpe fans have been dreaming of ever since Steel Vengeance opened in 2018, and pretty much since RMC started. And it's basically just been campaigned for the last, I don't know, 5 years or so. And it would just be a really great addition to the park. It doesn't have to be some massive 200-foot coaster like a lot of the hybrids are. It can just be a smaller, slightly more compact one between like 100 and 200 feet, just at the back area behind Swarm, or just anywhere. And I think it would just be a great fit for Thorpe Park. Alton, that they've got enough. Plus, they've got Wickerman, which is a bit similar, except it's not a hybrid and not as good. And Blackpool, it just doesn't really seem to fit. So I just think it's a coaster that Thorpe really seems to need. Number two, staying with our friends at RMC, Rocky Mountain Construction, is a single rail coaster. Now, despite what I said about 2 seconds ago, it doesn't actually have to be an RMC coaster. Anywhere would be good, an Intamin single rail, or whichever manufacturer decides to knock off the RMC model next would be great. Again, I think it would just have to be Thorpe Park in that same area of land. It's compact, it's cheap, and I think it would be a great fit for Thorpe Park because they do just need something new and unique because they haven't really gotten anything since 2012. And it'd be a great fit for the park, I think. And I'd love to see one there. It looks like such a crazy and cool, unique experience. It's something I really want to try out and see what it's like. Third on the list is a B&M Giga Coaster. Now, the tallest coaster in the UK at the moment is the big one at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which is only 213 feet. Now, don't get me wrong, that's tall, even by coaster standards. However, there are a lot of coasters which are a lot taller. There are hypers which are taller than that. It's on the low end of average, really, for hyper coasters. And it'd be great to see something, new and tall and fast and airtime packed, which I think that's what B&M hypers and gigas are perfect for. Now, this obviously couldn't go at Alton Towers because they'd have to dig a 300-foot ditch down, but I think Alton Towers, Thorpe Park doesn't quite have the budget or the space for it. They just don't have enough land. So I think it would have to be Blackpool just because it's the only place with enough land to build it. And whilst it's not quite the same as a lot of their coasters there, I still think it'd be a great fit and could even replace Big One if they decided to take it down, since it's getting pretty old and rough at the moment. Fourth on the list is a Mack water coaster. Now, this might not be considered as popular as the other ones on the list so far, but I think this would be an absolutely perfect coaster to go at Chesington World of Adventures, owned by Merlin. It's a family park just south of London, and I think it would actually just be the perfect fit for the park. It's not too intense, but it's still unique and exciting. And to be honest, thrill seekers tend to enjoy these coasters, even if they are not that intense. Just because it's like riding a log flume and a milder coaster without having to get up and walk to the other side of the park. I think it would be a really great fit, and I'd love to see it at Chesington World of Adventures. They've got the land, they've got the budget. I just think that's what Merlin need to do. So finally, fifth on the list, probably the least likely and least realistic one, but a S&S Fourth Dimension coaster. Now, as I said, an S&S Fourth Dimension coaster. I don't want you bringing your spinning coasters in and telling me that they have 4 dimensions. I want an Egenica X2 S&S Fourth Dimension coaster. These rides look absolutely insane. They're so unique, and it's just something I really want to experience. They're intense, they're fast, and they look so disorientating, I bet you have no idea where you are. This couldn't go at Alton, again because of the height limit. These coasters tend to be fairly tall. I think it doesn't quite suit the aesthetic of Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which is all about sort of funfairish, still quite intense, but oldie style rides. So I think this would have to be a toned down version for Thorpe Park, again in the same place that you'd put the RMC Hybrid or the single rail, behind Swarm. Now a lot of people would say that these two coasters are too similar, but I just think that's totally not true. Just because the chains are on the side of the track does not mean that they're the same coaster at all. So there you go. Before you leave and click on another video, I just want to mention some, well, honorary mentions, because these coasters just, I think, didn't quite suit what the UK needs, but they would still be great coasters to have. First is a Mack Extreme Spinner, because whilst these coasters are a lot more intense than the Mauer spinning coasters that we have, Dragon's Fury and Spinball Whizzer, I just think they are slightly too similar, and the GP wouldn't see that big a difference, and it just wouldn't attract that much attention to people who've already ridden Dragon's Fury or Spinball Whizzer. An Intamin Blitz, because we recently received Icon, which, whilst it's a Mack coaster and it's not the same tool, it's again just in GPIs, it wouldn't attract that much attention because they're just very similar, and I don't think it would quite work out. A Stratocoaster, because Alton Towers obviously couldn't, and Thorpe Park, they've already got Stealth, which is sort of like a toned down version, and that would just defeat the object of Stealth. And Blackpool, just it wouldn't work. And finally, a Vekoma flying launched coaster, simply because it looks like an incredible model, and it's so unique. But because we have Fly, the world's first flying coaster, I think, we just don't want to take that away from it. It's such a unique ride, and I think we want it to keep the title of the best flying coaster in the UK. But yeah, there you go. Those were 5 coasters that the UK needs. Now, obviously, this is a complete pipe dream. None of these coasters are going to come to the UK anytime soon. But it's just if Merlin got a massive pay rise, or Blackpool, or maybe even Flamingo Land or somewhere smaller like that, just suddenly won the lottery and decided to go all out and build exactly what every enthusiast wants, I think these would be the perfect coaster fits. Be sure to let me know down in the comments below, though, which one is your favourite, whether you agree or disagree with my choices, and what would you put in which parks. But otherwise, I hope that you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.